Welcome back to Hurley's Hobbies. Well, today we're going to continue on the GeeBee R3. We're going to keep building. Okay, we're at F9 this time. I just have it in here to mark it before I started the camera. So now I got to get this out of here so we can glue it and put it in. So now these woods are getting too long. They're hitting together. So I need to cut them down back closer to where they need to be. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to cut these lower ones. So I went and got a piece of wood so I could cut this. I'll put a mark on them first. I'm still going to leave them longer than I want. And don't throw these away because you're going to need them. On almost all the ribs, they have bracing that goes across. I'll show you later on about that, but so don't get rid of those. Okay. Happy with that. Okay, I'm going to get this one glued up. We're going to get F11, and we got these supports that have to go in here for the wing tubes and the bolts to go through. And the first ones I cut them out wrong, so I went on my laser and recut them. I didn't notice until now that I cut them wrong. One thing that's nice about having your own laser, you can recut them. So these go here, this will go in here, and afterwards on the top and bottom of these, this gets 1/16 sheeting. It says sheet across this section between F10 and F11 with 1/16 balsa. So across here, it'll get sheeted on the top and bottom. That's what I'm taking. I'll look at the plans again before I do it. But for now, we're going to get these mounted. I'm going to epoxy this together. So mix up some epoxy. Okay, we're going to let that set. Okay, we got to put F12A in. It's this one. And there is actually F12. But you can't put F12 on because it's too long. Because it has the top piece on it. So we have F12A. And it's really hard to tell down there on the drawing, because it's got so narrow. But there is a line there to go to. So we got to get this in there and glued in. And then when you run these stringers through here, make sure you leave them long still, because you still have to tie this into it too. So when you get these, you got to leave them past enough. And then also on these stringers, after you get done running these stringers, just so you know, there's some fill pieces you got to fill with 1/4 inch in here. Um, just so you know, that's on there on the plans. It's actually off to the side. I'll try to remember to put a picture of that into the diagram. They actually give you the templates to cut them out. It says F11 and F12 1/4 inch balsa stripping stringers fill times 2 of each. So for each side. So make sure you put those in there. Not you don't have to right away, but once you get, so just so you know, this will be like solid in between these. It only shows it between these. It doesn't show it down here. And then after you get your other, just put it out there. Is this to go in there? This will come in and come up. Even the 3/8 goes past it. There is, you have to put plywood up in here. It doesn't have a template or nothing for your tail wheel. They have like a wire tail wheel. Just goes in. I'm just gonna buy a tail wheel and mount it, so I'm gonna do it so I mount it. But it says to use light ply. I think it was 1/8 inch and double it up. And then they had another one for the top part of the wire to grab onto. But I might just put double it up pretty thick through there. And I might actually run some ply on the sides of it just to help strengthen that area. So we'll see that when we get to it, but I'm just putting that out there. So let's get this glued and put in. Now my speed square, this one won't fit in there. I already tried, pre-fitted it. So I gotta use my big framing square to make sure it's nice and level. Make sure I'm on the line down there. But this is actually pretty important to make sure this is like right on. I have to pin these stringers down, they're moving on me. I'll let that's in there. It looks better. Now it's staying there. That looks good. And these flex, they come from angle. They come from an angle and flex flat right here. So you have to like put something on there and twist them. So I'm gonna put a clamp on them, try to twist them down, get them flat. Oh, that sucks. Well, I'm gonna have to fix that. Any glue back here I want to clean up. Because that other F12 is gonna have to go on there. So to fix this, I'm just gonna put some epoxy on it, put it in, and I am actually gonna put a backing, a little backer back here, even though it gets doubled with the other one. I'm gonna put a little backer back here. So right now I wanted to show on some of these ribs or the fuselage ribs. You got to put See how it's 3/8 balsa? I already put that one in. Every one of these have one. Yeah, right there, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8, 3/8. They have them all the way down to 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, yeah, 9's got it. Right there, just a little short one. Doesn't say anything up there, but it looks like 3/8 diagonal brace there on 9. There's a diagonal brace on F7 right there. But F6 and none of the on down don't have it. So it starts at 7. See 8. 8 don't have it. So 7 and 9 have a diagonal brace on them. And then over here you can see it shows where the fill is. Fill in between. Shows it right there. And when you get to F12, it shows it a little bit through there. See how it's different highlighted. And then these are the fill pieces. So you can cut them out of 1/4 inch balsa, flat balsa, or you could fill it any way you want. Next thing I'll be doing is putting all these diagonals in. There's some diagonal bracing that's got to go in. It goes through there, through that hole. I'm sure it goes through that hole. Maybe it doesn't. Right there. But there's diagonal bracing we got to put in here. Diagonal bracing here. Diagonal bracing here. All the way back to F10. From F5 to F10 get diagonal bracing. All right, well, I'm going to start from the front, work my way back. I'm going to first start with the 3/4 by 3/4 bracing for the motor mount. Get all this done. I still have to put this bottom plate in. I'm going to put a block across here. It doesn't show one, but I want to put a block from this side to this side for that bottom motor box to set on. It does get the 3/4 by 3/4 on the sides, up the back and the front, all the way around this motor box, except for the bottom. The bottom down here, it starts out flush and then goes back. And then I got bracing to put in between here. It goes across. I got more bracing that goes here, goes across. So there's bracing that goes all the way across these and come over to the wing roots. And then I got bracing to put in all the way up. I'm going to get all that done, get all that bracing in, all the way, start with that and work my way that way. And then I'll come back and start all the diagonal bracing. And then between F5 or F7 and F9, there's some bracing that goes in this way too. And I'll try to show that on the plans when I get to it. So first of all, I'm going to start on the motor mount and work my way back. Well, I've been working on the plane. I didn't video it because I didn't have a whole lot of time after work last week, and over the weekend I spent time with my kids and my grandkids, so I didn't hardly work on the plane. So last week I only got like 10-15 minutes here and there. Tonight I had a little bit longer, but I wanted to show you what I got done. I'll bring you in here in a minute, but I got all these triangle pieces in down here. I got the reinforcing on the top, so all of these down here. I got most of this done. This ain't even on the plans, this birch right here, but I want to support for the wing rib to go on here. And I made a tray. There ain't nothing about servos or trays or batteries, or it just shows nothing in here. You pretty much have to figure it out yourself. So I made a tray and made slots in it. so I did it on my laser so I could strap batteries down, and I still have room to put my power expanders. The servos for the rudder I'll probably go in here somewhere. Because the canopy goes all the way to here from here. That's how long the canopy is on the other side, of course, but that's how long the canopy is on this. So, I mean, I could even move the servo back here if I need to, or if I need a little bit more weight in the rear, I can move the servo way back here. So anywhere in here, the servo can actually go. So I got these cross braces in. These are 3/8. These are on the plans. There's 3/8 sticks here. I got all these reinforcing sticks in all the way through. On the front, I got all my 3/4, almost all of them in. I didn't do the bottom of the motor box here because I want to flip it over so I can get to it. After I get it done, I'll put those in. So I got the bottom side done, and it doesn't really show any on the bottom side, so I put 3/8 on there. I put birch here, birch here, birch here, anywhere in between the wings where the wings span together and bolt. I put birch in there. I got all my triangles in back here on the opposite side. All the triangle pieces I put in. If I'm not mistaken, those were on the plans to be put in. And so I'm going to bring you in closer and I'll show you how far I got. I have this birch stringer just sitting here, popped in. When I laser these are nice and tight. There's no slop in this 1/4 by 1/4. It's like perfect. But I just have this side setting in. I took a 4-footer, 2 4-footers, or actually 3 4-footers, and I cut one of the 4-footers in half on an angle and made these stringers. These are birch. And I decided I'm going to put them one down below the wing rib right through here because it's like the straightest spot and won't be wanting to twist the frame. So I'm probably going to go right there with it. Grab a hold of the iPad and I'll bring you around and show you in more detail up closer exactly what I did. All right, so I have the 3/8 here. I put this in this I added. I have 3/4 going down around the front and it comes up this side. And I cut it a little bit just so it ran flush with the 3/8. I have 3/4 on the inside here. Let's see if we can see that. 3/4 on there, cut. It goes up, but there's none on the top up here. It just runs up the side. I didn't put none up in here yet. I want to flip the plane over to do that. I still got to add one here. 3/4 on both sides. I haven't done that yet. I do have the 1/2 inch here. 1/2 inch here, and those are on the plans to be done. This is the tray that I did. I ran it from here all the way, and it just goes past right here. I might just cut this off right there, but it was kind of hard to get a tape measure in there when I did it, and I actually thought it was a little longer. I missed it by a little bit, but I can cut that back because it's glued in. You can see these 3/4 here, or these 3/8 here. There's a little one here, and on the opposite side of the wood, there's one there, and there's also one up here, right there. This side has the through piece. So before I glued this tray in, I put a straight edge on both sides and made sure this rib was exactly straight on this side and on that side. I clamped it to it before I glued this tray in, because this tray is going to hold it more square and straight. Just because these ribs here can move. You know, you could take them and move them a little bit. Even though it's like pinned to the table, they'll still move because you're only pretty thin right here. So, and like I say, those go down. I got all the reinforcing across down here, and then these quarter by quarters, the cross pieces that go through here. It's got little blocks that go on. I cut those on my laser. I think I took a 30mm circle and then cut it into 4 pieces on my laser. This is a 30mm. It's on the plans. I don't know if you can see that down there, right there. There was supposed to have been one there. The same with these. They're all on that side for these. There's don't show them on this side of the plans, but they do on that side. These are the magnets. There's some magnet pieces. I know it's kind of hard to see with that plastic on there, but there's supposed to be magnets there. There's one back there, and there's another one towards the front. But all these are done. These are the triangles, and this is how it is on the plans. Goes down and goes up this way, and then there's another 3/8 by 3/8 balsa here. Now on the plans, it doesn't actually show this on this down here on this plan. It only shows it on the side plan. So I didn't know if it was actually supposed to be just one that went through the middle, down, and then came back up. But I didn't like that because that pole for the rudder would go through here somewhere. And I didn't want that to affect it. So that's why I did one on each side. And another reason why I think that's supposed to be like this is because from one rib behind the wing, from here, from right here, all the way up to here is open. It doesn't get covering, or it doesn't get 3/32 balsa. The balsa only comes to here, and then it only goes from here over to the other side to here. So all this is like open rib, like I did the Ortex on the Corsair and stuff, all the way back to here. So from this one here, right here, all the way up to here. I'm sorry. Yeah, all the way up to here. From here to there, all the way up to here is supposed to be open. So it's like an open weave. So I think that's why they got this bracing in here, is because it's open. The same with these, is because this is open. So I put these circles in because it doesn't, all you put in is 3/32 right here up to here. And 3/32 is going to flex in when your wing, this is the wing root. When you bolt that wing root on, that's going to flex in. So I made these on my laser. There's 4 of them, and the front one is sanded down. So now I have something with that balsa's there. It'll have something to bolt to, and it's not going to want to pull it in. It's not going to want to pull that in there or there. Like I said, this here, I added. I wanted a little bit more strengthening for this. And then on the plans, it does not have a hole for your servo wire to go through here, like it does here. So when this is in there, I'm going to have to cut that out. I have to mark it and cut it out so my servo wires can come through there because the servos are actually in the elevators. And then from here to here gets filled all with quarter. First you get your strips across, but then you fill it with quarter sheeting on the inside, and then there's another 3/32 that goes over that. So, well, according to the plans, that's the way it's supposed to be. And the way I see it, I'll show you over here. There's F11. It has the 3/32 sheeting on it. And then right there, it says this is all filled all the way up. But that's part of those that go up here. And then you also got to fill this. So it strengthens this tail. And according to the plans, this quarter by quarter that goes on this top of this rib all the way up through is only supposed to end here. But see, they got it ending here because that's notched out. Because this is supposed to be like a solid block here. Because there's only a little bit of sheeting that goes on here. And it comes back to here. And then this is supposed to be a solid block. So I don't understand why they have it notched back here. And then, of course, your tail wheel will go on this one. Once you add your other one to it, will go on this one. And then that gets all blocked in and gets reinforced with 1/8" ply. Actually, the double 1/8" ply in the very bottom, then an 1/8" ply inside. And then there's triangle blocks that go on everything. So I'm not sure why this is there, though. This is notched out. This is actually the rear. This is the top side. That's the bottom side. So you really can't just put that in there. So, I mean, do they really expect us to run all these stringers and then try to fit this inside all of those stringers? I mean, that's going to be quite hard to do. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. So that's just one thing. So that's how far I got it. So now I got it far enough, I can start running all the stringers. And I want to do at least that side on camera because you guys won't be able to see this side very well. So I'll put you back up on the tripod and we'll continue. So hopefully you were understanding when I was saying that from here, the covering only goes for the 3/32 only goes from here. So it's just going to be kind of hard. It only goes on these ones, and then it tapers to nothing almost here and here. So it was just hard to explain it because this is that tail piece F12 that goes on the back, and you can't put that on there because you just can't do it. Like I was saying, it's going to be hard to get those 1/4" pieces in here. After or get this on after all these stringers are run across here. I think it's going to be kind of hard to get that in there, but I guess that's the way you got to do it. Only other thing you do is I'll have to rearrange the plane, turn it this way with the plans. Really, I don't need the plans anymore, but the plans help keep it straight. Is turn it that way so it's hanging over the edge, so then I can put this on before I run the stringers, but I don't want to do that because I don't want this to flex. After I already did the motor box and then set it over here and then to get it flat, I don't want to do that again. So I think I'm just going to run all the stringers, and then I'm probably going to have to fight to get this in there because you got so many of those 1/4" pieces here to get this in, plus these 3/8 down here. I mean, I imagine this is not going to be easy to get in there. Maybe I'm wrong. So, but I wanted to get the stringers put on and then get the sheeting, most of the sheeting on. At least this upper, from maybe like from this bottom down to here up. After I got the stringers on and get this somewhat put together. I can only go so far with it without this one being in there. But yeah. So then I don't have to worry about the plane flexing as much. So that's what I've been up to. If you guys had any ideas, put them in the comments below what you think you would do. And because there is no manual with this is just plans. So you're putting it together on your own. There are no steps to tell you how to do it. Um, so I'm just doing it by what I think it should be done. I guess the way I want to do it. So, I mean, everybody builds planes differently. So, but like I say, I want to at least get it sheeted this top part down to this rib, or this is where the um, birch stringer is going to be. And I am adding that. It's supposed to be balsa. Um, I'm not too worried about adding too much weight to this plane because on the plans here, if you go online, it shows all the 104-inch GeeBee R3s as being 170cc. And when I bought these plans, I actually never looked at what it says is supposed to be on this. But if I look on the sheet, it's saying 80 to 100cc for this. And I think that's going to be underpowered for this size of a plane because 104-inch, my Yak 54 is 104-inch. That's 111cc, which is a 100cc plane, but that's not a racer. That's a 3D plane. So I still think 100 is way too small for this. A 170 might be too big. It might be better to be like a 130. I'm pretty sure they make a 130 now, or even a 150. But I already have a DLE 170, so that's what I think I'm going to throw on it. These planes are supposed to be speed rockets anyway, so, and that's the whole reason I wanted to build one. I like to go fast, so my wife won't let me buy jets, so I get props. So that's what I got to deal with. So if you like what you're seeing, please like, subscribe, and share. And please leave a comment. And we'll see you on the next one. Keep it building. I'm unstoppable. I'm a butcher with no brain.